It was at break time.
Yeah?
And then we saw something shiny. And we saw two people. They were in black, tight black suit. And they had big eyes.
You made a drawing, huh? It looked like this?
No, yeah, something like that.
They seemed to have stiff necks. They didn't seem to move their necks like we can.
I couldn't see the eyes or the nose or the mouth. It was just blank, like a piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
His face was like this, and his eyes were down here.
He had a big head and big black eyes, and he was dressed in a black bodysuit.
You see the eyes? What did they look like?
They were going like that.
One was running in the trees, and the other one was running across the ship, because there were also trees here.
Mm-hmm.
If you've spent more than 5 minutes on UFO YouTube or TikTok, you've seen this footage. 1994, Ruwa, Zimbabwe. A bunch of Zimbabwean school kids at Ariel School claimed they saw a UFO and strange humanoid beings near their playground in broad daylight during the morning break. 30 years later, many of them still insist it really happened. It is widely hailed as the most credible mass UFO sighting in human history. This story, combined with recent CIA declassifications of other weird sightings in Zimbabwe from 2008, has people convinced the country is a literal hub for UFOs. But is that true? Let's bypass the hype and dissect the actual Ariel School sighting. First of all, the stories the kids told when interviewed are completely all over the place. Kid 1 says, "I just saw a bright flash in the sky.
I saw, it's like a silver light, and like that kind of spaceship you showed me, just coming out, just for an instant, and then it just disappeared, like, just like that. All I saw was a silver flash, just like that."
Kid 2 says, "No, it landed, and there was a black alien sitting on top of the craft." Kid 3 says there were 2 aliens playing hopscotch in the grass. And Kid 4 says there were 3 of them, a red one, a white one, and a black one.
And then what happened?
And then he walked towards us, and he walked back again, and they just went.
How? How did they go?
It just went all of a sudden.
What, like a helicopter? Went
No,
up?
just went.
We have flashes, we have landings, we have hovering, and we have varying head counts. If an intergalactic delegation travels millions of light years to deliver a crucial warning to humanity, you'd think the kids could at least agree on how many of them got out of the car. Oops, I'm sorry, I mean disc-shaped spaceship. What if I told you the real aliens in this story were not from outer space, but were most likely well-meaning, slightly intense adults with an agenda? In one clip, you can literally see a teacher in the background mouthing words to a child to keep their story going.
Well, when they came, I thought they were crazy.
Was this the first thing you saw?
I thought they were crazy just coming to our school just doing nothing. And all I saw was something like silver coming down, and I said, what must that be? And everybody's crowding it. I must go crowd too. And then I went and I started crowding, and everybody, then more people came and more. And then I said, hey, I can't see anymore. Come on, somebody, I'm short. Come on.
You see that? That looks like manipulation to me. But let's discuss the real bombshell. Questionable facts of this alien sighting that many people don't know about. Number 1. The Russian satellite. 2 days before the schoolyard incident, people all across southern Africa flooded the ZBC television lines, reporting a massive streak of fire in the night sky. True believers screamed, UFO.
Hundreds of people today phoned the ZBC and the BBC correspondent in Harare saying they sighted an unidentified flying object last night. We have some eyewitness reports.
It was quite amazing. It was beautiful.
They are saying that Jesus is passing through Africa. That's what they are saying.
The boring reality is that this was just the atmospheric re-entry of a booster rocket from the Russian Cosmos 2290 satellite. Logically, does it not make sense that the children heard about this massive local hype and claimed they saw something similar the following day? One kid even claimed he saw something the previous night, and then again in the afternoon.
Well, the night before I saw the cigar-shaped spacecraft, but I've got it in my picture, but it wasn't exactly like a cigar shape. I thought it was a circle. Then the day after that, I saw it in the air again with my friends, Ferrari and Barry.
What did you see that morning here at the school?
Well, these other children were running. I asked them what it was, and they said it was a UFO. Then I ran with them to the logs over there. Then I saw one person sitting on top of the ship and guarding it.
His story is totally different from the others. There was massive UFO hype in the air. These kids most likely heard the stories, combined them with what they knew from TV, and concocted a narrative. They may have seen something in the sky, but they filled in the rest with their imaginations. Number 2. The group interviews. A few days after the sighting, a UFO researcher named Cynthia Hind visited the school. Out of 250 kids playing outside, only 62 claimed to see anything at all. Now, if you want to scientifically prove an alien landing, you interview children individually in a private room, so they don't copy each other, right? Nope. They interviewed them in rows of 4 to 6. We all know kids love games and attention. They want to please adults. If Tatenda says the alien had long hair and the nice lady with the microphone smiles, guess what Tanaka is going to say? Number 3. Enter the Harvard hypnotist with a hidden agenda. It gets worse. A Harvard professor, Dr. John Mack, flew to Zimbabwe to interview the children. UFO believers hailed him as a hero, but the documentaries leave out a massive detail. When Mack flew to Zimbabwe in November 1994, he was under a serious investigation by Harvard. The university was trying to censor him and revoke his tenure. Why? Because he was using aggressive hypnosis to tell patients their alien abduction memories were 100% real. He desperately needed a win. He needed a case so pure and undeniable that Harvard couldn't touch him. So he packed his bags and brought his own massive confirmation bias right into that recess yard. When the local researcher first interviewed the kids, none of them mentioned the environment. They just saw a weird guy with big eyes. But Dr. John Mack was deeply involved in the New Age anti-nuclear movement. He believed aliens were here to warn us about pollution. Watch the footage. Mack doesn't ask open questions. He literally coaches them into his own worldview. In one exchange, Mack asks an 8-year-old, "When you looked into his eyes, what did you feel?" The child says, "I felt scared." Mack then leads heavily and asks, "Did you get the sense he was worried about the planet?" And the child, wanting to please the nice Harvard man, says, "Yes, he said the world is going to end." Boom. Television gold. The children didn't invent the telepathic environmental warning. The hyper-stressed Harvard doctor looking to save his job did.
Dr. Mack, I read your book with great interest on every page. But I also felt, as particularly the 13 case histories were recounted, every one of them sounded to me as if it could be explained as a dream. Call it a vision, maybe a delusion, but a dream. I wonder if you can explain those moments when patients or clients told you stories in a way that you said and had to say to yourself, this is something else.
Often the people themselves will hold it as a dream. They'll say, I had this dream of these beings that came into my room, or
I was sleeping.
Well, that's the question.
Stop it. Get some help.
Somehow there was a message about pollution from the way he was staring.
Yes, we don't look after the planet, and all the trees will just go down, and there will be no air, and people will be dying.
Is this an idea you have had before, or did this idea come to you when you had this experience?
When I had this experience.
Number 4. The impossible logistics and the sci-fi cover-up. The kids' individual stories don't describe a split-second flash. They say things like, I saw it, so I ran across the yard to call my friends. Or, I was playing over here and so-and-so called me over to look. According to them, there was a whole commotion. Kids were running back and forth, screaming, and gathering in a group to watch these beings walk around. That's not a 5-second anomaly. That is several minutes of absolute playground chaos. If kids are actively running to fetch their buddies, yelling and clustering together to stare at a spaceship, how did a single adult on recess duty not notice? Not one teacher looked up from their tea to see why a crowd of children was screaming? It makes zero sense. So how do the UFO experts explain this? They come up with sci-fi explanations. They seriously argue that the craft generated a localized time slip or a time dilation field. To the teachers, only 1 second passed, but to the children, they had a 20-minute telepathic seminar on climate change. Time is relative, man. Also, if the kids weren't lying, why do their stories differ so much? Of course, to seal the deal, there was that one child who looked at the camera and declared, "Children can't lie." I don't know about you, but a child who casually drops the phrase, "children can't lie," is a child I immediately do not trust. It sounds like they are reading from a script an adult gave them 5 minutes ago. Anyone who has ever spent 10 minutes around a kid knows they lie constantly. They lie for fun, they lie for attention, and they easily mistake imagination for reality. If you have a massive New Age agenda, using innocent children as your frontline defense is brilliant marketing. Because the moment a skeptic points out the massive contradictions and the impossible physics, you can just hide behind the kids and say, "How dare you question a child?"
Some people say that people are saying that the aliens came to warn us something's going to happen, that something bad is going to happen to the Earth.
Yeah. I think they came here to try and warn us that the children because we're young.
We've got a long time.
We've got a long time till we die. To warn us that when we're older, there's something going to happen to the Earth.
Yeah, not to pollute. Because we're young, we can still prevent it.
Yeah.
Do you still have all that feeling? That as a child you can do a lot?
Yes, I have it.
Yeah? Do you feel, as a child, do you feel privileged? Or do you think, next time if the UFO is coming, please go to another school?
No, I feel privileged.
You feel privileged that you saw it?
I'd love them to come back and you could see them again. But only this time closer.
What do you want to say?
The only thing I want to know, when are we going to be on TV?
You are on TV.
In conclusion, extraordinary claims need extraordinary evidence. The Ariel School UFO sighting has passionate believers, but it also has some very ordinary explanations. Do you believe the kids saw aliens? Let us know in the comment section down below. Until next time, thank you for watching.